John Lester here of Lester Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another head by Iron Will. I love Iron Will broadheads, okay? They've always performed really well for me. Shot a moose with one, I've taken hogs with them. They've really done a great job. And over the years, it's been encouraging and impressive to see them build a really nice lineup of broadheads for all different size animals and setups. And today I'm going to be testing a new one that just came out, and it's the wide single bevel in 125 grains. So now they have a 100 grain and 125 grain single bevel wide head. Last year I tested the wide that was solid in 150 grains. You can check out that video if you want. But today I'm going to be testing it in 125 grains, and obviously you can see the difference is that it's vented. Comes in either left or right beveling. So for this test, I'm going to be using my protocol for 2024. For a detailed description of why I do the tests I do and how they work, how I quantify the results and so forth, please check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2024 Broadhead Test Process. It'll answer all those questions. And I'm going to be using, let's see, my Elite Era compound bow that I am just loving. And then I'm also going to be using my Killer Instinct SWAT X1 crossbow for the flight testing. And for all the arrows, I'm using Bishop Archery arrows and bolts for all the different testing. All right, let's zoom on in here and check out this new Iron Will wide single bevel and then put it to the test. Okay, this is a really nice broadhead. I say it all the time, but when you open up the package of an Iron Will after spending quite a bit of money, you do not wonder where that money went. You just go, oh yeah, this was money well spent. Okay, these are just made very well with extremely high tolerances and tight specifications. They're really a work of art and just a lethal tool to put on the end of your arrow for sure. Okay, let's go through it. First of all, the materials. The blades are made out of A2 tool steel, and they're brought to a Rockwell hardness of 60. Now, A2 tool steel is really superior to the typical like 420 stainless steel that's used in most broadheads, just because it can withstand a lot more impact. Its Sharpie V-notch score is much higher, which tests its resistance to impact. So it's a really great steel to use in a broadhead application for its ability to get super sharp, be super hard, hold an edge, as well as resist impact like that. The ferrule is a hardened steel ferrule, and the blades are 0.062 inches thick, so pretty thick blades. In this 125 grain model, you notice that you have a bit of venting there. Okay, that's probably going to give a bit of a whistle in flight. I don't really worry about arrow flight noise at all. I've never seen it to be an issue in the field, so it's not a problem for me. It's probably going to make them more forgiving in flight as well, but I look forward to putting them to the test and seeing how that flight actually is. The cutting diameter of this, being in the wide series, is 1 3/8 inches, so just over 1 1/4, just under 1 1/2. That's really a nice, good, wide cut for a fixed blade broadhead. And then in this dimension, in this direction, it's 3/4 of an inch. So that looks really small, but it's actually 3/4 of an inch. So it really opens up a nice wound channel. The total cut is 2 1/8 inches, 2 1/8 inches. That's really nice again for a fixed blade broadhead. The overall length beyond the edge of the arrow shaft here is 1.39 inches. So not super long, not super short, right in between. And the bevel here, the single bevel, is 32 degrees. So for resharpening, the Stay Sharp guide makes a 32-degree sharpener largely for this, but there's others that have a 32-degree bevel as well. And man, it works very well with this broadhead. If you shoot it a few times in the field, practicing or whatever, you use that Stay Sharp guide 32-degree sharpener, and you're going to put a very good edge on it. And if you check out Stay Sharp Guide's YouTube channel. It's called Innovative Outdoorsman. Innovative Outdoorsman. They have a video sharpening the single bevel, not the wide, but the original single bevel iron will. There's a video showing exactly how to do it with the 32-degree guide, so that's worth checking out. You can notice here too, I forgot to add that on these little bleeders that they're single bevel as well, just to help with the rotation and the sharpness. So really eager to put this head to the test and see how it performs. It's so close to the 9 ring, so I give that an 8.5. It only took 107 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus it gets a 0.93 point bonus. That may be the sharpest, certainly one of the sharpest I've ever tested. It penetrated 8 inches. It took an additional 34 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.32 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 55 layers. The head's in perfect condition after the 3 shots through the MDF. And here it is after the 2 shots through the steel plate, and the head is just in almost perfect condition after those 2 shots. There's a little slight bit of edge chatter on one of the main blades and then on a bleeder as well, but very little. And then you can see a really cool hole. It's just a classic S-cut of that single bevel plus the single bevel bleeders. That's going to make a nice wound channel that's hard to close up. Interestingly, there was no rotation in the gel. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe the venting in the blades and the wide cut, maybe that just prevented it in the gel. I did notice quite a bit of rotation in a target when I shot it into that, but the rotation here was 0. Here it is after all the durability testing. Still spins perfectly true. Man, it held up very well, even with that, cut on contact tip that went pretty deeply into the concrete. Slightest bit of edge chatter there, little tiny bit from the steel, but man, it did very well. So what'd you think? Man, it performed really well, right? I mean, as expected, extremely sharp blades. That might be the sharpest blade I've ever tested. I couldn't believe how sharp that was, and it held its edge fairly well too. And incredible durability, even with the venting, really impressive durability, both the main blade and the bleeders. It lacked a little bit in flight and in penetration, just a little bit, but that's what you expect with a big wide broadhead. But if you have the juice behind your setup to drive it deeply in animals, and or you have a smaller animal you're going after with a lighter setup, this really is a good choice. So check them out on their website. But you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in all the areas that matter to you the most, and see if this head might be a good fit for you and your hunting needs. Stay tuned for the overall cumulative score as well as the corresponding Lusk grade, and stay tuned for a slide that I'm going to put up showing all the discount codes I have, and it's a growing list. I'm getting more and more added to the list. I just want to pass on the savings to you, so check that out as well. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next time.